as selected by the 13,000 voting members of the recording.
Drake versus Kendrick. The billion-dollar question nobody's really asking right. Yo, before we dive deep into these pockets, if you're new to Celeb Clope, hit that subscribe button right now because we're about to break down the numbers they don't want you to see. We're talking real wealth, real power, real talk. Let's get it. So, you think you know who's richer, right? You probably got your answer ready, sitting there all confident. But hold up, because this ain't just about who's got more zeros in their bank account. This is about empires, moves in silence, and the kind of wealth that doesn't always flash on Instagram. Drake and Kendrick, two titans of the game, two completely different philosophies on money, and yeah, two very different bank accounts. But which one of these legends is really sitting on that throne when it comes to the bag? Let's start with the boy, Drake. Aubrey Graham didn't just rap his way to riches, he chess moved his way there. We're talking about a catalog that's worth somewhere between $300 and $400 million alone. Yet just his music. Not the endorsements, not the businesses, just the songs. Universal Music bought a piece of that action, and they paid handsomely for it. But that's just the beginning. OVO Sound, his label, has been printing money since day one. He's got Party and Majid Jordan and a whole roster that's been eating off his vision. Then there's the OVO clothing line, limited drops that sell out in minutes, creating that artificial scarcity that keeps the hype machine running. But here's where Drake really separated himself from the pack. October's very own isn't just a brand, it's a lifestyle empire. The man got an OVO-branded private jet, an OVO flagship store in Toronto, and he's literally turned his city into his personal playground. Toronto is Drake's kingdom, and every time he drops a pin there, property values go up. He's smart enough to invest in real estate when nobody was paying attention, building a $50 million mansion that's basically a monument to excess and good taste mixed together. And we haven't even touched on the endorsements. Nike, Apple Music, Sprite back in the day. But the real money move? That Virginia Black whiskey deal. When you can sell a spirits company and walk away with a check that's got 8 figures on it, you're playing a different game. Drake's estimated net worth sits somewhere around $300 million, but if you ask the people who really know, who see the private deals and the back-end percentages, it's probably closer to $400 million or more. If you're still watching and haven't subscribed to Celeb Clope yet, you're missing out on content that breaks down the real game. Hit that button, turn on notifications, because we're just getting started. Now, let's talk about Kung Fu Kenny. Kendrick Lamar moves different. Where Drake is flashy and omnipresent, Kendrick is calculated and selective. His net worth is estimated around $140 to $180 million, depending on who you ask. Now, before you think that's chump change compared to Drizzy, understand this. Kendrick has been in the game for a shorter commercial run, and he's never compromised his artistry for a check. Every album is a cultural moment, not just a playlist edition. Good Kid, Mad City changed lives. To Pimp a Butterfly is studied in universities. Damn won him a Pulitzer Prize, the first non-classical or jazz artist to ever do that. Kendrick's wealth comes from being undeniable. His touring numbers are insane because people know they're getting art, not just a performance. The Big Steppers tour grossed over $100 million, and that's with him being selective about where he performs. He's not doing 30 shows a month. He's doing strategic runs that maximize profit and minimize burnout. That's boss mentality right there. Then you got PG Lang, his creative company with Dave Free. It's not just a label, it's a multimedia company that's positioned to do films, TV, music, and whatever else they want. They signed with Paramount for a deal that's reportedly worth hundreds of millions. Kendrick also has deep ties with Reebok, and while it might not be Nike money, it's respectable and on-brand. He's not selling out, he's buying in on his own terms. But here's the kicker that most people don't consider. Kendrick owns his masters. Not all of them, but a significant portion of his recent catalog is his. That's generational wealth right there. That's the kind of move that your grandkids will benefit from. Drake might have more money right now, but Kendrick's playing the long game, building something that appreciates in value over time. Subscribe to Celeb Clope if you're appreciating this breakdown because we're about to get to the real talk. So who's richer? On paper, it's Drake, and it's not even close. 3 to 400 million versus 180 million is a significant gap. But richness isn't just about liquid assets. It's about leverage, ownership, and cultural capital. Drake has more money, but Kendrick has more control over his art and his narrative. Drake is a mogul in the traditional sense, building a commercial empire that touches everything from music to sports to liquor. Kendrick is an artist entrepreneur who's proving you can have integrity and still get incredibly wealthy. The streets respect both, but for different reasons. Drake showed every kid from the suburbs that you can be soft and still be hard, that you can sing and still be respected in hip-hop, that you can be a global superstar and still rep your city. Kendrick showed every kid from the hood that you don't have to dumb down your message to get rich, that consciousness can be commercially viable, that you can be a poet and a profit maker. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. We're asking the wrong question. It's not about who's richer, it's about what kind of rich you want to be. Drake's rich enough to buy whatever he wants, whenever he wants it. Kendrick's rich enough to do whatever he wants, however he wants to do it. That's two different types of freedom, and both are valid. The numbers say Drake. The culture says it's complicated. And if you've made it this far, you already know what it is. Drop a comment telling us who you think is really winning in the long run. Smash that subscribe button for Celeb Cloak because we're bringing you this raw, unfiltered content every single time, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay woke, stay wealthy, and keep questioning everything they tell you.
Peace.